Dude, it freaking fits. Whoever said minivans aren't cool. Hello, welcome. Today, I'm gonna take the low side and I'm gonna do a wheelie how-to. I was asked to do a manual how-to, I did do that, and then a wheelie how-to. Neither one of them I consider myself like super good at least not at the moment, but there are times in my life when I've been better at them. Wheelies, I'm definitely questionable at, but I said the same thing about manuals, and I did a really good manual in the last video, so it might take me a few tries to get a really good wheelie nailed, but I think I can probably do it. The cool part of that is you get to see my progress as I'm doing it. So just a little update. I've been working on my jumping quite a bit on my BMX bike, where I moved my ramp to a new location in my yard. So here's a clip of me jumping my BMX bike and getting pretty good air. And then here's a clip of me pulling a full X up all the way around, fully clicked. I was pretty stoked about that one. Okay, enough about riding my jump box. Let's get into this how to wheelie. A couple of things. I see different opinions and techniques on wheeling. I have a dropper post. Some people like to have their seat low. I personally find it easier to do wheelies with the seat high. I feel like I get more power, more torque in my legs, which is kind of needed to keep the front wheel up. The seat being low, your legs are a little more cramped and it just seems hard, but maybe the idea is you're in that balance point more. But I'm gonna do it with the seat being high, because for people that are learning, that's a good place to start, because it definitely gives you more leverage, more ability to lean, get the wheel up there, and you definitely have more torque in your legs when the seat is high. So starting with that, the difference between a wheelie and a manual is that a manual, you have your pedals level, and in your favorite position, you pull up the front wheel with your weight back. You do not pedal, and you use your body leaning back or forward to balance the front wheel. And I will link the how to manual video at the end of this one. Wheeling is different in the sense that you actually pedal, and by pedaling, you force the front wheel up with the power of your legs, and then you hold it there and you use your pedaling to kind of balance, and then you kind of release and put more pressure and so on to keep the front wheel up. And you do lean back and use your body a bit, but you're seated, so you're not throwing your hips back and forth, so you definitely need to put more pressure and less pressure on the pedals. And I also use my brake a lot when doing wheelies, because what happens is when you pedal and it gets too high, you can kind of feather your brake, bring the wheel down, and then pedal and keep it up, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and try a couple of these and we'll see how it goes. The wind is coming from that way, and wind actually really affects wheelies for some reason. It also affects manuals. It's like goes through the front wheel and wants to pull you one side or the other. So I'm gonna go with the wind and see how that goes. So like I said, I'm pretty rusty at these, so we'll see how I do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pedal into it, get the front wheel up, and then I pedal to keep it up. So that's the idea. So as I'm doing this, I'm leaning my weight back and getting the front wheel up there and using the brake to make sure I don't go over backwards. And so that's kind of the action. As I get the front wheel up, I start to go too far, I feather the brake, bring it down, pedal, bring it down, and kind of keep it balanced there. So it's a little choppy right now. The idea behind leaning back and getting the wheel way up it there is to maintain the speed, because if I let the wheel fall and I pedal to keep it from falling, I pick up too much speed, and then you just go so fast that you can't maintain the wheelie. So the idea here is that I want to lean way back and actually have to use the brake a little bit to maintain my speed and not start going too fast. All right, here we go. I'll try one now. Oh, I saved it. I'm going off camera. So what happened there is I let it fall too much and I pedaled really hard to keep it up, but then I picked up a lot more speed, so I was going a lot faster, and then I went off camera. I actually went for a little ways off camera, so I might actually figure out this one right here and the how-to and be able to do a pretty good one. We'll see. I haven't even tried really doing wheelies on the low side yet. There I go. Oh yeah, I got this. It is like 92 degrees right now, so it's really hot. So I'm gonna take little breaks between, but I already kind of have this kind of figured out for this bike. So now the goal is to keep practicing and try to get a long one. Let's see what I can do. Since I keep going off camera, I aim the camera this way so I don't ride off camera. That wheelie was okay, but the problem with it was that I started to pick up too much speed, so I need more speed control. Let's try another one. So I actually start off at a pretty slow speed and pedal into it. Oh, this one's nice. I had to end that one just because I ran out of room. And I saw that car and I didn't want to, I didn't know what he was going to do. All right, so I have that one on lock. Didn't seem to take me very long. I almost fell over right there. You ever do that? You're just sitting on your bike and fall over. So, just to recap, I start out kind of slow. I give it like that initial power pedal. I lean back to pull up the front wheel. I don't have my weight forward like this. I'm not hunched over the handlebars. I'm back. Again, kind of the straighter arm thing, similar to a manual. And then once the wheel's up there, I want to find that balance point, and I kind of want to go a little too far because then I can feather my brake, and that's how you maintain speed, by going back just a tiny bit too far, feathering the brake, and then pedaling to maintain speed. If the front wheel starts to fall and you keep pedaling to try to keep it up, you're just going to pick up a bunch of speed and lose control of the wheelie. So the idea is to lean back almost to a point you're going to fall off the back of the bike, and then use your brake to feather and keep it under control. So on this one, different than the manual, you use the brake a lot more learning wheelies and doing wheelies. You can kind of find that sweet spot and not use the brake very much and go, but for the most part you use a lot of brake and feathering of the brake. So that's a good skill to have. But that's it. That is how to do a wheelie. There's tons of YouTube videos out there on how to do it, but someone asked me to do one, and so there you have it. And just for bonus material, I'm gonna try to do one with the seat low and see why everybody's into that, since I pulled the one with the seat high pretty quickly. Oh, that. I can kind of see why that's a thing. You got to get the front end a little higher, but it seems a little bit more chill. Let me try that again. Definitely a little harder on the legs, especially me after having a knee replacement, but I think I can do it. Oh, let me try again. I feel like there's definitely more speed control that way. It's a little harder to learn, but it's more, doing it with the seat low is kind of like almost like manualing and wheeling at the same time. Like you can definitely coast a bit more, and I can see why with all these people out there doing wheelies in the inner city and stuff, it's kind of become all the rage, which I think is pretty cool. And they're like standing on the seat and touching the ground and all this cool stuff. And they have their seat pretty low. They also have their seat tipped forward. I can totally see why they have the setup they do, because it's more of a coasting. The pedaling part is just very minimal, and it's more the lean back and the coasting and more like a seated manual almost. So I'm gonna work on this. Let me try one more. Oh yeah. It's a little scary. You really have to get on the brake when you need to. All right, that's enough of that. I'll work on that one. So I say when you're learning it, do it with the seat high, because you just get better torque with your legs. You're higher up, so it's easier to lean back, and you don't need to have the front wheel so high. But definitely give this a try. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.